Welcome back to the SSLFamilyDad channel. Today we are going to install a water purifier at the game bar. We have been working on this game bar for about a year now, and everything is pretty much finished in here. We installed our sink, we installed our pump. It's a drain that drains up this pole and back to the back of the house because there's no drains in the floor here. We have water and everything here, but the problem is this water is not very good. Since we're not big drinkers, this is what we want to use this space for, is kind of a coffee bar. All of the water that comes out of our tap here in Michigan, we are in lower mid Michigan, we have a lot of iron and minerals in the water. And so if you use that stuff in Keurigs, if you use that stuff even for washing and showers and faucets, we get rust stains all over everything. We do have an iron rust remover and a water softener, but the water still has a lot of well type flavor to it once it gets to the sinks. So what we want here is nice, purified, clean water that tastes good, that we can use for drinking, that we can use for cooking, and that we can use for our coffee machines that aren't gonna clog it up with mineral deposits over time. So what we have today is a Glacier Fresh water purifier, and we're gonna pop this in. These are pretty easy to install. So we have a normal faucet setup here. Hot and cold water comes to underneath of this, and then we have a butcher block. If you're installing this in another type of countertop or with a different type of sink, obviously in a kitchen or something like that, a lot of your kitchen sinks will actually have a soap dispenser hole or a hole for a sprayer. And then you can use that hole that's already in your, usually flashing around your sink, that you can use that to install the purifier in. If you have a countertop that's something that you can drill through easily, not marble or something like that, then you can actually drill the hole in, which is what we're gonna do today. Underneath the sink, what we have, this is a little unique because we're in a lower level here. It's in a kind of a basement area. This is a cement slab under here. So I actually have a pump, and that's what our drain is hooked up to. And we just have our normal hot and cold water supplies that are in the back there. So let's get the Glacier Fresh water purifier unbox, get all of our parts out, start to check out our instructions, and we'll get this thing installed. This is a reverse osmosis filter, and it has a pre-filter here that removes any larger stuff. It has your reverse osmosis membrane, which only allows the smallest pure water molecules through. And then you have a carbon filter, which helps your water to taste good. So carbon filters that are all these systems have some type of carbon filter, and this is what's going to make it taste good. This system here has a really fast flow rate, so it doesn't need a separate pressure tank. A lot of these reverse osmosis, the real expensive ones, come with a separate pressure tank that will sit under your sink. Also, it takes up extra space, but it stores some water. This one here has a faster flow rate, and so it actually can keep up with your demand a little bit better without having that separate expansion tank. So there are 3 lines that we're going to need to hook up for this. We have a feed. This is going to come from our cold water, not hot, cold. This is a 3/8 push connect, so it's just tubing that pushes right into this fitting. This is just a plug that's in there. And then we have the drinking water that comes out of it. So this is the filtered water that will come out, that's all finished running through all the filters. So that's another 3/8 tubing push connect right here. This will go up to our spout on the counter. And then a drain. So anything that doesn't fit through the RO filter is considered to be contaminated with all of your mineral and contaminants. This will filter out chlorine and lead and anything that you don't want in there. All that stuff is going to come out the drain. So this actually has to also be tied into a drain line. So with our particular setup here, we've got our cold water. I've already got it shut off over there. We're going to get an adapter that I have there. It's like a T that will go on the end. So I'll disconnect my faucet hookup. I'll put a T in there. I'm actually going to have to do a little bit of reworking in here because I want this to fit nicely right along this side of the cupboard, and it won't fit between my drains. So I actually have to move this around a little bit. So I'm going to get some of this adjusted and out of the way first, and then I will we'll get our unit set in there, and I'll show you what I bought. I bought a few adapters that Home Depot sells where we can hook our drain line in real easily to this. So for the actual spout, this one comes with a chrome or a silver spout. You can get other colors online on Amazon or other places. You can get different kinds of spouts, and they usually all have the similar or the same type of 1/4-inch water connection on the bottom. So for this one, you just need to drill a hole. I've matched up a drill bit. Ideally, we'd use a hole saw for this, a small hole saw if they even make one this small. You definitely don't want to use a paddle bit on wood, so I'm going to use this regular spiral drill bit. This should give us a hole that sits pretty tight here that this will fit down in. And what I want to do is I'm just trying to, you can put this anywhere you want to if you're using a wood countertop. I'm going to put mine just off to the, on an angle here, just like I'm on the corner. We'll leave it pointed in that way. It's kind of out of the way of the sink, out of the way of the other handles. The handle turns on and off down here, so I think it's out of the way. I want to make sure the end of it is over the sink, and I also want to make sure that at about a 45 degrees over the sink. So I've got a narrow sink here, something like this. Now if you don't have a wood countertop or you don't have a hole in your sink where you can install this, what you can do, it comes with a bracket, and you can actually you can mount this in the bracket like that, and then mount this to the wall. So you can actually have this up on the wall somewhere next to your sink, so it can be mounted other ways. So a little trick when you're drilling holes through a countertop like this, you can use, there's a couple different methods you can use to prevent tear out. You don't want the wood to, little splinters can tear out from where you're drilling a hole. And so you can use, I just use masking tape or painter's tape to put around the spot. You can also, if you could have a way to clamp a piece of plywood at the top of it, so you drill through a piece of plywood first, that will also help the hole to be nice. In this particular installation, because my butcher block countertops are so thick, this actually, I couldn't use this flashing and spacer, but luckily my hole was nice here, so it's a little extra diameter of the spout itself covered my hole. So this gives me enough thread at the bottom to spin on the lock, and so now this is firmly in there. So I've got my plumbing redone. This pump actually is 1-inch PEX, so I just extended the PEX over, moved this out of the way, so now my filter will slide right along the right hand side here, and I just have to redo my kitchen drain. And in order to do that, I actually bought this kit. This has this little back spout on it where you can hook up a dishwasher drain or a reverse osmosis drain. So this is how I'm going to hook that drain into the system. So this side is my cold water supply. I'm going to hook my adapter up to that side. I won't be able to use the fitting that came with it, so I just ran up to Home Depot and grabbed this. This is just going to screw right into place on the end of my valve here, and then my sink hose will connect right here, and my RO tubing will fit on the compression top of this. All right, everything is complete. Nothing is leaking. So this is the adapter that I had to add to the drain so that my 3/8 line could drain into this. Every sink drain is going to be different. If you have 2 sinks, 2 drains, or a double sink or whatever, you're going to have a different setup than this. So this is kind of unique for each person, but you definitely want to get something like this, or you can again cut a hole in the side of your pipe on the vertical side, and just cut it on the down slope like that, and you can stick that tube in there. I did buy an extra shutoff there, so I got that. That T was did not come with it, and this shutoff did not come with it. So I have a T actually in mine that feeds another device that I will show you here in just a moment. So we got real good pressure for our fresh water. I let it run for a little while just to get you know, any of the synthetics off the filter, just kind of let everything flush out a little bit. And this actually comes with a tester, so we'll test our tap water versus our filtered water, our reverse osmosis water here, and see what the difference is. Now, as a bonus, I have been wanting to do this for quite some time. We have this neat little Keurig down here. It has a foamer or frother. You can put milk in here and it'll froth it up, and you add that to your coffee. And this little Keurig, but I hate filling this thing up all the time. You know, you use it every day, and I hate having this thing to take off and fill up. This one comes off pretty easy, but some of the other ones are more of a pain. Why don't we make this into something you never have to refill? So I've run my 1/4-inch line that I teed off there, and so we're going to hook this up to a little float valve. What I have found with whenever I'm drilling through plastic, I'm really more melting through it than I am drilling. So I'm going to actually heat up this drill bit. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now let's use our little water tester. Can't tell where the decimal is, or if there is one. 0.364. And now we're at 0.033. Very, very low, or much lower than the tap water. So it's definitely working. It's good coffee made with good water. We have had all kinds of trouble with water here at this house as well as at our new lake cabin. Well, now we have fresh water here down in the game bar and unlimited purified water feeding our Keurig, our coffee pot, which is pretty cool. The great thing about this Glacier Fresh system is that it is not super expensive and it is very easy to install. I had to do a little bit of extra work here at this because I don't have a regular drain, because I have that little pump under there. For most installations, this is going to be pretty much plug and play. You shouldn't even need to go to the store. However, if you do run into any of the same type of installation stuff that I did, I will put a link in the description, not only to the Glacier Fresh reverse osmosis purifier, but also a couple of those parts I use, the little fittings, the drain adapter for the dishwasher, and the RO drain waste to go into your regular drain. I'll put all that stuff in the description, as well as the float valve for the unlimited coffee maker, the unlimited purified water for your coffee maker. Don't forget to hit thumbs up on today's video. If you guys have questions, I'd love to hear from you guys. Of course, put all that stuff down below, and we'll see you next time.